we have our very last panel of awesome women. I'm super excited for this one because there's a number of folks that I know personally on this one. So let's just bring them in for this women's hacker panel, moderated by Jax Scott, the president of Outpost Grade. We also have the awesome Jen Miller Osborn, the Deputy Director of Threat Intelligence with Unit 42 at Palo Alto Networks. I also work at Palo Alto. So, Jen, we need to connect. Lisa Jiggetts, founder of Cyberjitsu, also a pen tester for Dark Wolf Solutions. We've got Angela Saccone, who's our competitions coordinator here at Cyberjitsu. And last but certainly not least, we've got Maria Belén Castillo. She's a tech lawyer at Castillo Centino Abogados. So if I butchered your name, Maria, I apologize. We could talk about it later, but I'm super excited for all of these awesome women to come in and talk about, pen testing and their careers and all that good stuff. So I'll let you guys take it away.
All right, I'm popping in now. Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. I'll wait for everybody to get their cameras turned on. Jen, Lisa, Angela, Marie, welcome. How are you ladies feeling?
Great. Good.
You're ready to go. I am amped, and I haven't even had any caffeine today. I drink tea. That's about it. So let's go ahead. Let's kick it off. Let's do a little bit of around the horn and have each of you amazing women share a little bit about your background. And I'm going to bun it over to Jen first. So if you would, please.
Sure. Thank you. I've got a strange kind of story for how I got into the field. I originally had a full scholarship for genetic engineering to college, realized I really didn't like being in a lab doing repetitive tasks for 13 or more hours a day, and then had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. So I really liked taking foreign languages. I had done that since I was in elementary school, and I knew that if I joined the Air Force, they had a program where I could learn a language and get training and basically get paid to do something I think is fun, and then I was going to figure it out later. And then I would just happen to kind of be in the right place at the right time when the US government started looking into cyber. They asked for volunteers who had related skills, and I also liked computers. So I volunteered for this like 6-month boot camp thinking this will be fun, right? It'll be different from my day job. Like I'll get to try something else. And here we are 20 years later. I spent like 15 years in the government, and then I moved to MITRE, where I was one of the original creators of the attack framework, which I cannot say how proud I am of how crazy that has gone and how useful everyone has found it. And then I came here to Palo Alto for Unit 42, and I've been here for a little over 7 years.
I love the MITRE attack framework. Huge fan. Love it. Implemented in everything. I used to do CTI. That was like really where I really started in cyber. So that's awesome, Jen. Thank you so much. Lisa, please spend a couple of minutes. Tell us a little about yourself. Oh, you're muted. We've got the first mute. You're always one.
There you go. Great. So I'm Lisa Jiggetts. As Mary and Jack said, I'm a pen tester at Dark Wolf Solutions. And I would be remiss to say, if I didn't say that I was also the founder, or am the founder of the Women's Society of Cyberjitsu. Yay. So I have always been a techie, probably started out in gaming when I was younger. My dad brought home this computer, which looked like a typewriter. And we used to go to this, this cafeteria at this this school. It was like a lunchroom setup thing. And we would go there. There were other people there. I was like, what is going on? But that set it up for where I am now. Cause it just, I've always been like into tech and gadgets, and saw a movie called Sneakers. I don't know if that was late 80s or 90s, but that was the movie that said for me, like, I want to be a hacker. And I didn't know that in the movie, they're like breaking into buildings and computers and sitting in the van. I was like, oh, this is cool, like Mission Impossible stuff. I didn't know that it was a legal thing to do, So here I am. This is what I do now every day. I love my job. I love what I do. And
I've always wanted to share the knowledge and get more women into the field. So that's how actually Cyber Jiu-Jitsu got started. Because, there wasn't any groups like there are now. Like, oh my God, there's so many groups out now, which is great. Like, there's no excuse, for anyone trying to or wanting to get in the field to not go one of these places or multiple places to get, make connections and use the resources. So I think I've taken on my minute here. So I'm going to thank you for having me. I'll pass it on.
That was lovely. Thank you, Lisa. That's awesome. And I love the Women's Society of Cyber Jiu-Jitsu. It's awesome. And all the money being raised for this event is going to support the Women's Society of Cyber Jiu-Jitsu. So yay on that. Angela, I'm passing it over to you. Please share a little bit about your background.
So in terms of like cyber security, like I want to say maybe towards I want to say community college days, my early community college days. My sister's Facebook account actually got hacked one day, and I was just wondering what was going on, and there was like viruses and whatnot. So I was just like, okay, that's not good. Let me start Googling some things, and then afterwards, I joined a cybersecurity club on campus, and I met a lot of wonderful folks there. And then we did I think the first CTF I did was the Mid-Atlantic's, it's a long one, it's called MACCGC, but it's the Mid-Atlantic Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition. And we were able to go to regionals 2 times. So that was really nice. And I was the team captain for that. And then shortly after I think I met Lisa actually, and Mary and Marcel and others from Cyber Jutsu, and then just started doing competitions there and learning more about not just the cyber defense side, but also the red team side too. And yep.
I love that. That is awesome. Starting young, taking it on early. I love it. I wish I had stuck with it when I was in my younger years, but I was still at that time where women weren't in cybersecurity. It wasn't a path for us. So disappointing. Maria, all right. Please share a little bit about your background.
Hi, yeah, well, I am a lawyer. I am transitioning into cybersecurity. I am from Mexico. Well, I started with cybersecurity, I think, from a very young age. I love technology and I have always loved it. In high school, one of my dreams was to be a hacker, but I went into the normal path into law. I've been a intellectual property lawyer for like 10 years. But with the pandemic and all, I have my own law firm. But when the pandemic started, well, the business went down a little bit. So I started to think what to do. And instead of keep doing that, I said, well, why not doing my dream? Like something that I would like it, I like for so much time. And yeah, I mean, right now I have very little in cybersecurity. I am the member founder of a community called Hackers Improve Here, which is an all-inclusive community for everyone to learn how to hack. And also I am a member of Hacktoria, which is a CTF game based about OSINT. So if you want to play a little bit with OSINT, that is really, it is really great. It is free to play. And we have a monthly CTF for that. It is really fun.
I love that. That's awesome. And you're participating in the Wicked Six. And we actually did a review of your resume in this live stream we did.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your resume. So we were able to do that during one of our live streams on Outpost Gray. So wow, talk about diversity of backgrounds, going from an attorney to an individual that was part of the MITRE ATT&CK Framework Foundation and 20 years of experience. This is awesome. So the diversity is wild on this panel. And I'm curious, for each of you, what has motivated you to either stay in this community for 20 plus years, or B, wanting to get into this community and transfer, like really move from being an attorney, Maria, and move into this industry? So I'm actually going to take it and have Lisa, I'm going to have you kick us off on this question. What is the motivation that has kept you in cybersecurity?
You know, I think it really, aside from, you know, the challenge and you know, being amongst like-minded people, like it aligns with my personality. So that's a great thing for me, you know. Like I've done the Myers-Briggs and different personality tests, and like I'm a good detective, and you know, I'm always suspicious and paranoid. So I'm in the perfect job. But that's what keeps me coming back, and I like finding stuff and letting clients know that I found it in my work. So, and of course, you know, specifically with Cyberjitsu, like made some long-lasting friends, and always making new ones. So I love the community, basically.
It is all about the community, and that's how it is. It's been for me, I think, because I left the military and I came in to the cybersecurity community. At first, it was a little hard transitioning into the community, but I feel like from my lens, after I've gotten into the community, it's my family. It's just everybody around me. We want to help and push one another. I'm going to pass this over to Angela now. What has helped you starting out and staying in and just keep pursuing this career in cybersecurity?
So I always love learning. I always call myself the lifelong learner. So there's like a lot of things. I mean, I'm still learning like about pen testing, and I'm still learning like there's a lot to learn. I've used things with like Python, or maybe I might use Burp Suite, or I might use some other tools that we could use in even with the Wicked 6 game CTF. You know, there's a lot of tools, and I think it allows me to be more creative. I didn't think that would exist with cybersecurity, but yeah, you can be creative. There's many ways to do the same thing. I like that, and I also like helping people out in the community, especially with Women's Society of Cyberjitsu.
I love that. Helping out the community is huge. Jen, 20 years. What has kept you in the industry for so long? And I mean, you're thriving. So what's the secret?
Initially, it was same as some of the other women. I really enjoy the work. From a young age, I really enjoyed puzzles and languages and being able to figure things out. Like my mom has this great story that the only time she's ever seen me have meltdowns is when I'd be playing with those toys where they'd be like doing the quizzes and the buttons. And she was like, if you didn't get it right the first time, like to the point where she would go through them before she gave them to me so she could like guide me in the right direction. So it's just kind of gone along with that. And over time, as I've shifted from doing more of the direct research and into more of kind of the managing and the mentoring, I really enjoy the educational aspect of it. I really like helping people understand what the threats look like, what they need to do to be safe. And one of the things I challenged myself to do quite a bit was to do things like this to be more visible. I'm actually a natural introvert. It's taken me like years and a lot of work to get comfortable doing this. But I recognized, being someone in the industry when it was so nascent, that, you know, representation really matters. Being able to see someone that you identify with, even though intellectually you know that you're capable of doing it, there really is something to visual representation that you can't get any other way.
Yep. And speaking of being introvert, extrovert, I shared yesterday in a SANS brief that I'm super introverted, but I can be extroverted when I need to be. And it really helps in this space because, like you said, representation, I think also representation for women is paramount. So we have to kind of put ourselves out there a little bit more than maybe our male counterparts would have to. Maria, so you're fairly new into the space. You did the Capture the Flag event. It sounds like you do a lot of other things on the side in your free time outside of being already an attorney. What has motivated you to want to even break into this space and not just stay as an attorney in what you're already doing?
Well, like I said, it was really a dream for a long time. But when I first started, like May just last year, it was really difficult because I entered into this sea of information. oh my God, it is so broad and it is so difficult to choose what kind of thing do you like. So for me, staying was really the community, like you said. I mean, the people who are helping me, it is amazing. I have find like really good, even friends right now that are helping me, that I know what is red team and blue team and purple team and everything. So I don't know. I have never been in this kind of community, to be honest. uh, I think it is really, it has been really amazing. And also because I love to be creative, I love to be curious, I love to investigate and do other stuff. And with my love job, there wasn't really that much that I could do. I mean, yes, but not in the way that I wanted to be working. So in this, to be more like a technical side that I miss a little bit, that I don't really have right now. That's what I really want to know. I want to be more technical to learn how to break things, really.
And when we say break things, we mean hack things. Yes.
Yeah.
Not physically. Well, and you could physically
Yeah.
break
Well,
them. Yeah. I
no, no,
love
no.
that.
Hack things. Yeah.
I'm going to pivot on what you said, though, and that's going to lead us. It's a great segue into the next question that I want to ask. So I'm going to bring it back to you, Maria, on because you're new into the industry. And so your lens and your view on the industry, I would say, is probably a little bit more heightened than maybe individuals that have been in it for, 5, 10, 15 years. What was something about the industry that really surprised you, either just in general or being a woman in the industry?
All right. I think this very polarized community really surprised me because it has been like amazing in some ways, but a little bit toxic in the other. Like there's a lot of, I don't know, like disputes and things. I think there's a lot of drama, and trust me, I mean, I come from a low background and I know what drama is. So yeah, I don't know. It is very weird, but for most of the time, it has been really good. I
Yeah.
mean, and by being a woman, I haven't. Actually, I believe I had a harder time when I was a lawyer and being a woman than now that I'm trying to pursue a cybersecurity career and being a woman. I think it has been way better, to be honest. People are more approachable. Uh, I have seen also a lot of young men that I'm friends now with them, that are very respectful, that I think everyone is learning and we are learning from the past. And I think it is really cool. I've been very welcomed and I enjoy it so far.
I love that. That's amazing. It makes my heart warm. I'm so glad that you've had such a great experience. I know that there's a
Yeah.
mixed bag, and it really is dependent on
Yeah.
what industry you're in, the individuals that you could get connected to. So anybody that's listening to this, if you're having a cruddy experience, just maybe try, switching from red to blue, or try a different Discord or a
Yeah.
different group, because there are good people out in the industry. So thank you, Maria. That was awesome. Lisa, I'm going to take it over to you, because when she was talking about there being drama, you started laughing, but then it made me realize, I mean, you've been around, you were even talking about it during your intro. You remember when there were only like 1 or 2 foundations when you were working with Women's Society of Cyber Jiu-Jitsu, and now there's a myriad of them. So what has really surprised you? And I'm going to ask you from the lens of a woman, what has surprised you about this industry and being a woman in this industry?
I'm just going to tag on to what Maria said. Times have changed. I've been in tech for like 20 something years now, and definitely there's more acceptance, more willingness to help. You still have your, I don't know what I want to call it, bad apples. Your few people that you're always going to have them. So you got to figure out a way to work around that. But definitely this is a great time. Like, you know, I've said this before, like I wish all these things were around, even like girls programs when I was coming up. Like, I don't know where I would be now. Like, you know, there's just so much out there now. So it's good. It's really good now. There's definitely more awareness of, you know, there's very technical and women that can do this stuff out there. And, you know, just in general, that there's a whole nother bucket here of candidates, if you will, that are well qualified. So look at us, you know.
I love it. And look at this amazing all
Yeah.
women panel. Yay! It's so awesome. You guys should all feel proud of yourselves. Jen, I'm putting that question over to you now. Something in the industry that really surprised you, either just overarching or being specifically a woman in this industry.
Honestly, one thing that surprised me over the past couple of years that I didn't expect was increasingly interviewing candidates for jobs where one of the first questions, or one of like their top priority questions when they're asking me, and it's women who are asking, but they'll ask, how many women do you have on this team? How many women do you have in management positions? You know, how many women are in senior management positions at this company? And I've never, even for myself, when I've interviewed for jobs, like that's never a question that I asked, was how many women work there? Because invariably I was the only one. So it was never a question, but it's been fascinating to me to see how times really have changed, and there's such more of a focus on that, and people are perfectly comfortable asking, you know, what does the diversity look like on your team? You know, what are your plans for that? What's your company's posture for things like that? And that's just been really, honestly, really great to see that kind of, because when it starts to get that kind of focus and people are that comfortable talking about it, I feel like that's kind of a tipping point really where you're starting to get that sea change that we really needed.
100%. And Deidre Diamond, I think, does a really good job with that, with Cyber SN and all of the awareness that she does around diversity and inclusion. It's a topic that you can talk about now, where we didn't really talk about it just even 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And there's a lot more representation for women in this space, and I love it. Angela, what about you? What was something about this industry that really surprised you?
I know when I first joined, like in college, and there wasn't at first like a lot of women actually when I was in the cybersecurity club, and I thought I was in the wrong place at first. It was just kind of weird. I was like, am I supposed to be here? And then I found Marcel there, and we were just like, okay, I found somebody familiar. I'm like, let's work together and just start doing the challenges together. And then over time, I think, yeah, over time, I actually became the cybersecurity club president at my school. And then I started to spread the word about cybersecurity and also Jiggetts too. I think that's when it was just starting, actually. I was like, please come. We have CTF sessions. You can learn about cybersecurity. It can help you out with your skills and, you know, land a job and that, you know, do the CTFs. And I saw more and more women start to show up. And that was really nice. And then some of them had something that I think everyone here has probably experienced a few times, which is imposter syndrome. They're like, I don't know if I belong here. I'm like, no, you do belong here. You can do this. Let's try it together. Maybe this challenge is not working. Let's try it in a different way. And eventually, especially when they got their first flag and I saw that smile and they were just like, yes. I'm like, yes, you see, you did it. It's not impossible. You can do it. You can do a really good job with it. So I always call myself the on Twitter, especially the information security cheerleader. I try to just cheer people on because sometimes it feels like we're just alone. It just like feels like nothing's working. But then you just think to yourself, well, I wish, you know, someone would cheer me up a bit. I'm like, okay, I got you. Let's do this. Let's just take away that negative thought and just think about something positive that we can do it. And I'm seeing a lot of people now, they're thriving, they're getting certified, they're doing these competitions. I'm just very thankful that I'm seeing this progress and just that this community is getting more positive as time goes by.
We need more Angelas. I love that. That is so awesome. And you just cheering other people on. That is amazing. We need more people in the community like that to encourage more women to come into this space. I have another question that's going to be women centric. And Angela, I'm going to pivot it back on you because there was something you said and it's another great segue. So you guys are helping me out a ton, but you were talking about some of the challenges. And so my next question is going to be talking about, and we're asking you all about, what was one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome being a woman in this space, if any at all? Can you think of that challenge and what was it?
I think it was one of my first like cybersecurity internships. Like actually getting like the onboarding and trying to figure things out. Like we were assigned to do certain things, and honestly, imposter syndrome definitely happened right there and then. And I was like, what the heck? I've been spending several hours trying to get this thing to work. I've been Googling all the things. And I don't want to always bother people sometimes, because it feels like if you don't want to bother someone, especially as a woman in tech, you just don't want to be that person that's like talking so much, it feels like. But then at the same time, you just gotta be like, you know what? We're all here. We're all on the same team. We're all solving the same problem. Like, we don't need to be like thinking that little of ourselves, you know? We need to think outside the box. Maybe just think of different problem solutions. Maybe take a walk. Or for me, one of my stress relievers is actually K-pop dancing. So maybe, yeah, yeah, I love to dance.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then maybe, you know, maybe have a nice coffee or tea, or just, and then come back to it later, and things will eventually click. And when it clicks, it's amazing. So, yeah.
Do you have a TikTok where you do these dances?
No, I don't.
Totally need to do a TikTok dance / cybersecurity channel or whatever they call it. TikTok, I don't know. I try to do this TikTok thing, but I'm not very good at it, but it's okay. I love it. I'm going to have to see these dances.
Okay.
Totally jealous. I wish I could dance like that. You don't want to see it, but so funny.
I believe anybody can dance, actually.
They could with enough training, right? It's like cybersecurity. With enough training, you can learn anything. I truly believe it, even dancing.
Right.
Okay, so back on topic. I'm going to pass this over to Jen. Something, biggest obstacle that you had to overcome in being a woman in this industry, if any?
Honestly, it's been being a woman in this industry, especially with the time period when I started within it. It was a lot of the, you know, having to, sorry, my puppy's having some separation anxiety, just having to prove yourself and kind of be better or perceptively or perceived as being better than the people that are around you or that you're competing with just because of that. I had a lot of really good managers and mentors that were men that were very supportive of me. Like, I totally wouldn't be here if that hadn't happened. So it was, you know, kind of that mix where some of them were awesome, and then that helped me kind of get through the rough patches where not so awesome. Like, within the past couple of years, I've actually shown up to give a briefing, and I've had the people that I scheduled it with go, "Are you lost? Like, why are you here?" And I'm like, "I can leave. Like, I was your presenter, but that's cool. But that's definitely not something that happens as often. But, you know, it's still something that when it happens, it's a little jarring."
Yeah, it sounds like you definitely have to have, you had thick skin when you got into this industry, and you've been able to maintain that, move through it. But you would say it's gotten better since then. It's not as bad.
It has absolutely gotten better. And yeah, I was joking around at a SANS conference a few years ago because there's actually a line for the women's restroom.
Yeah.
And I was like, we are at a tech conference, ladies, and there's a line for our bathroom, because that was the first time in like at that point, the 15 years or so that I'd been in the field, where I was actually at a tech conference and I had to wait in line at a women's restroom. So I just thought that was fun.
Yeah. That is such a real point, though. Wow. Really awesome consideration. I'm going to be at RSAC this year. I hope you will, Jen. Hope you will, ladies. Maria, I'm going to bring it over to you. I know you've recently joined the industry and you're breaking into it. Have you noticed, has there been anything obstacles that you've had to overcome that have been challenging specifically because you were a woman?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it is more like my perception of myself that has been very like a challenge. Like Angela says, like imposter syndrome is really difficult to overcome. And I mean, I am a woman. I am also a disabled person, so it is a little bit difficult. I come from a very competitive field in which you need to be like the toughest person in the room if you want to be heard. So to be honest, having that changing into cybersecurity, I am more relaxed. I can be more like myself. I don't have to be a bully to be perceived as a professional. So I don't know if this is cultural also for Mexico or if it is the law field in general, but I've been feeling better in here, to be honest. So I haven't had that really hard, like, I don't know how to say, like
Conflict.
barrier,
Yeah.
like a barrier to be like a woman or to be a disabled person. It has been good to be all today. For today, it has been good. I haven't had any trouble with that. So I'm really happy because I have been dealing with that through my whole career. So staying getting here is really really good. So yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Maria. That's awesome. I'm so glad you've had such a great experience transitioning over, and it's been better than being attorney. So yeah, love it. Keep on bringing it. Okay, Lisa, biggest challenge, biggest obstacle that you had to overcome being a woman in the space.
I hate to say it, but it's pretty much the same as everybody else. I had to prove myself, and I'm still doing it, but not as much. But real quick example, like one of my older jobs, I was hired as a pen tester, but didn't really do pen testing because I wasn't all started up and all this and whatnot. So they really had me doing like vulnerability and assessments, that type of thing. I was like, it's not what I signed up for. So I didn't stay there that long. And then again, another job, something similar happened where I had to prove myself, like, no, this is the command. I know the command, and they're like, let me look it up. It's like, really? So over the years, as I've gotten older, though, as I've gotten older, I've learned I don't take as much BS. And I think that just comes with age and dealing with stuff you see in the industry or just in life, so, but again, sound like a broken record. It's getting better, much, much better. So that's a good thing. But you still have to, I feel like I still have to prove myself here and there, especially with new technologies, at my job here. We're starting to get into cloud and Kubernetes and going into our kickoff meeting in a couple of weeks. I'm like, I have no clue here. And I'm not going to be the woman sitting at this table, looking like she don't know what she's talking about. So, I fire hose learned what I needed to learn to be able to be in that meeting. And it went well. So that's the kind of pressure I put on myself. And I assume a lot of other women do, just to feel equal in a meeting or whatever at the job, so we do what we got to do. And I'm not a complainer, I'll point stuff out, but I do what I got to do. So hopefully everyone does the same.
I love that attitude though. Yeah. And you are right though. It's across the board. And I heard it on a panel last night for our kickoff panel, and that the imposter syndrome is a real thing. And we're really hard on ourselves. And then on top of it, with this industry, it is still, for the most part, male dominated. And it's very much, you have to prove yourself. Will that go away? I believe so, but it's probably going to take another 5 to 10 years, and more women in leadership roles and more of these programs, more events like this, and more women getting more engaged into the community to make that happen, that shift happen. So did you, all 4 of you, because I know when I was talking with some other women, some women were helping support Wicked 6, while some women were actually participating in doing the Capture the Flag events. Did all 4 of you participate in actually doing the Capture the Flag events?
I do not have time.
I didn't think so.
I'm actually doing a pen test right now. So
you're so awesome, multitasking. Angela, did you participate?
No, not yet. I was also caught up with some stuff.
Oh, that's okay. No, I'm Maria, did you go and do a capture the flag event?
I tried with Secure Works, but I got stuck.
We're so funny.
But yeah,
Yeah.
at least I did one challenge, so yay for me.
I love it. How about you, Jen?
Exactly the same. I had it on my schedule, but then my calendar was taken away from me.
I get it. Nope, I get it. I'm supporting it. So then that helps me with my next question was, why are you here supporting Wicked Six? Why are you here on this panel? I can tell you the reason that I'm here hosting this panel is because I believe in what this organization is doing. And I believe in getting more awareness out, supporting more women getting into the industry, but I'd love to hear why you all are here. And Maria, if you wouldn't mind, actually, you've already kicked it off. Angela, Lisa, kick it off for us. Or have you kicked it off already, Lisa? Yeah, go ahead, kick it off. Yeah,
Okay.
kick it off for us.
Well,
Tell us why you're here. Yeah.
You know, CTFs is like my thing. And I think for those that are technical or, you know, looking to be in pen testing or even not, like, it's still good to have that kind of perspective. If you're on a blue team, to have that perspective in red team and you know, exploiting and whatnot. I think it gives you a good foundation and good practice into that area. And again, you know, I'm always trying to get more women. I'm on a pen test army women out there. So this is kind of like, you know, my thing anyway. I'm just disappointed to get to play, but you know, I'm always playing CTFs.
Yeah, I love CTFs. How about you, Angela? Why are you here? Why are you on this panel and supporting Wicked Six?
I'm going to piggyback off of what Lisa was saying as well. Like, I'm also wanting to, as a competitions coordinator for Jiggetts, right? I want to help like inspire and like let people know that they can do CTFs and that I personally love them. I think every time I do one, I learn so much. It's really a great experience, and you get to, especially if you do it in teams, like doing CTF teams, you get to, especially with what we're doing at Cyberjutsu, it's all women. We get to always like communicate with each other, different ideas and plans of how we're going to do things. And sometimes when we get frustrated, maybe we'll pull up some like memes and whatnot and just like laugh it off and just have a great time. It's kind of like a mini party for us whenever we're doing these CTFs and then just cheering each other on and whatnot. It's awesome.
I love that. I love CTFs because it's just a great way of doing, in my opinion, micro training, but they're always the ones I participated in, they're always like really long 24-hour events. I always try to stay up way too long and then it wrecks my next day. So Jen, what about you? Why Wicked Six? Why are you here today?
Partially for selfish reasons, honestly, to network and meet other women in the field. Because I absolutely love to do that, but also because I like having discussions like this and I like being able to do this when we can share it with other women, because I think it's really important to see, you know, the breadth of different backgrounds and skill sets and even just day jobs that people have. There's so many careers now that I wouldn't have even dreamed of, like when I was starting in this field, as potentially being a thing. And that just continues to happen moving forward. So, you know, if you see something where you feel like it's an unaddressed area, you might be right. Like, go for it, check it out. You might create an entire new job field.
Yeah, I love that. Such a great idea. There will be a new job field. There will be new job fields within the next 1 to 2 years, just with the emerging technologies, quantum computing going on. We're all in such a great spot right now because it's going to get so exciting in the next 1 to 2 years. I can't wait. Maria, what about you? Why are you here on this panel at Wicked Six supporting this?
Well, I'm really supporting this because even though if we are better now, we still need this representation, that people see that women are in this field too. And not just all like women in general, but like diversity too, like Black women, Muslim women, disabled women, everyone is welcome to this field. So many times, the only thing that you need is to see someone like you in there for you to take that step. So, I mean, if anyone here is a disabled person or anything, really, this is a very welcoming community. So just make the step. It is okay. Maybe it is going to be a little bit hard at the beginning, but I think we are all here to make that, to make a better community for everyone and to feel welcome.
Thank you, Maria. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to do one more question and then we're going to wrap it up. But I want to end on a high note for each of you to be able to take a moment and share with our listeners a recommendation or advice, let's call it advice, for them, that for the individuals that are breaking into the industry, or maybe they're in the industry and they're having a tough time as a woman and trying to really find their place in the industry, maybe advice that you wish that you had had when you first broke into the industry. So I'm going to give each of you just a minute to give final thoughts. And Jen, I'm going to start with you.
Sure. Take advantage of all of the resources that are out there now, especially all of the free resources. There's so many great organizations where you can join to network, where you can learn skills. There's the CTF teams, Girl Scout badges we have now. That's actually something that I worked on that I'm going to be like super proud of forever. You know, there's so many different ways you get into this now with Girls Who Code. And feel free to reach out to other women that you might want to ask for mentorship. There are a bunch of us that are in the field that are willing to, you know, answer questions or offer advice when we can. And yeah, really, please join us. It's fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Please join us so our bathroom lines get even longer, please.
Unintended consequence.
That is the consequence. I love it. Maria, final thoughts.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, just make the step. I mean, if you want to be here, just be here. You are going to find your place. And also, there's a lot of free resources because I am broke. So there's a lot of free resources out there that we can get advantage of it, like Jen said. And network, talk to people, talk with the people already in here. We are okay. I mean, if anyone wants to talk with me, even if I don't have much experience here, I am here. I'm more than welcome to hear other experiences. So yeah, just take the leap.
I love that. Thank you, Maria. That's awesome. Angela, final thoughts.
Sure. I think like whatever everyone else was saying, like helping out, I think, and volunteering obviously can help career-wise, and it helps you develop the skills, and also like something that I've starting to do more of is project-based learning. Like if I were to see something from ACTF and I see a challenge or something, maybe I would try to make a home lab of my own and then try to replicate that challenge, but add something different just so I can understand how it works, like go through the steps. That's why I was saying like being creative, it's really important for me. And if I were to meet another person similar to me, I would recommend just doing lots of labs and also networking with people too. It's just, I feel like it makes a difference and it helps you, I think it brings more confidence. It's like, yes, I knew how to make this home lab and I'm networking with people. It feels like it's good, especially when you experience like imposter syndrome. You can remind yourself like, hey, this is why I'm doing it, because I really enjoy cybersecurity and I am welcome here.
I love that. And I love that Jen is getting attacked by her dog right now. That's a big dog. Oh my gosh.
He likes to try to join in on every webinar he possibly can.
It's like, don't forget about me. Oh my God, I love it.
Hi, people.
All right. Lisa, bring us home. Final thoughts.
So as y'all were talking, I was like, oh yeah, I was gonna say that. Let me add to that. But basically, I have a couple things. So you guys mentioned networking. I think that's really big, building relationships. And this is coming from someone that is all the way over here, introvert, believe it or not, and shy. So it takes practice. I remember doing my first talk. I was like, my husband was coaching me. But Toastmasters is a good way to practice too. But you're gonna have to get over it, even if you're like in the moment, sweaty, freaking out. Nobody's really can tell, but you got to practice that, right? Being in front, because you never know when your next gig or hookup is going to come from. It could be from talking to somebody that knows somebody that's got a job that's not on the job boards, for example. And the other thing I wanted to say was ask questions. Like Angela was saying, like, you may not know people. Like, I am all about spamming people on LinkedIn about, very specific questions I don't know about. And some hit me back, some don't. Surprisingly, the ones I do, I'm like, wow, this person hit me back. And it was a very straightforward technical question about whatever. So you never know, just hit them up. And the last thing I want to say is be kind. There's some folks out there that are just salty for whatever reason, but you be kind, and that should be reciprocated. But to know that, when somebody talks about you, like, yeah, that person's cool, they're kind, and people could see that. So that's the last thing there. Woo-ha.
I love it. We'll go around one more time before the main host pops on. What is the best way for somebody to be able to reach you, Maria? What would be the best way for them to reach you? Is it LinkedIn?
That would be LinkedIn or Twitter. Yeah, by the way, in the Twitter for Wicked 6 Games, they put the wrong Twitter handle. So, yeah.
So go to the LinkedIn and then get her Twitter information off of it that way. And then your name is listed there, and they can search by your name on LinkedIn.
Yeah, they can search. Although my LinkedIn is more like Maria Castillo. Okay. But yeah, in my LinkedIn, I'm gonna put my my Twitter so everybody can see it too.
Wonderful. All right, Angela, how about you? What's the easiest way for them to reach you?
I also agree. Twitter and also LinkedIn for sure.
Okay, perfect. Jen, same?
Yep, same for me.
I love it. Lisa?
Same.
Yeah, you have a good footprint, all of you ladies. Awesome. Well, this has been wonderful. We are going to wrap it here. Make sure, go and check out wicked6.com to get more information. If you didn't participate this year, I would highly encourage you to participate during our next event, if that's later this year or if it's next year, to be determined. So thank you, ladies. This was wonderful. I'm so happy that I got to host and meet all of you.
Likewise.
Have a good one.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Bye.